Welcome back to another Body Slam exclusive interview. I'm Jordan, that's Liam, and we are joined by the former EPW World Heavyweight Champion, IWGP Tag Champion and Openweight, and the former GHC Tag Team Champion, and the current GHC World Heavyweight Champion, Mr. Shane Haste. How are we doing, man?
Good, mate. Good. Hey, what an introduction! Hell of an introduction there. I don't think you missed a couple, but I don't remember them much either. NPW Tag Team Champion, United Wrestling Tag Team Champion. Had another one in there too. No, just that. Just those. EPW Tag Team Champions as well.
Yeah, as long as we've got the main ones, right?
I know this is the important ones are very much there. Yeah.
I'd have been here all day.
Yeah. Well, a couple more minutes.
Yeah. But yeah, it's 9 o'clock for us, 1 p.m. for you. How's your day been so far?
Good. Pretty easy. Just leg workout. Just finished cooking lunch. Just watching it on the counter. Did my timing. I was like, oh shit, I should have probably worked out a lot sooner. But it's a beautiful, lovely day here in California. Just getting some sun later. And, going with the flow. It's nice.
Definitely, man. So, Liam, I'm going to let you kick it off.
Absolutely. I mean, let's start at the beginning, man. You got the GHC title. What does that mean? Obviously, winning that.
It's huge. It's an affirmation of hard work and like my career choices. Like I've had a pretty long career now, been around, done things, and it kind of gets a little. Especially like last year, I've talked about this before. That last year was kind of a very low year for me. I figured like I'm pretty much done with this. Like. We're not getting any younger. People don't seem to want me, but I'm like, I know myself that I'm good enough, that I am good. So this is affirmation of that and a reminder to myself that, yes, I am good enough and I still got it. I'm not done yet.
Awesome. I like that, man. Big achievement as well. How did your Noah return come about?
They just reached out. So, like as I said, we were contracted with New Japan last year, just like a per dates thing. So, and they weren't really using us. And I know I'd talked to Zach Saber in the past about like, hey, if we're not doing anything in New Japan, like, see if Noah want to use us. We should be doing stuff with Noah. And then, which we were hoping to do. Me and Mikey were hoping to do all last year as well, but. I don't know how it didn't come about then, but just at the start of the year or the end of last year, Noah reached out to me and I was like, hey, if you can clear it with New Japan, then I definitely want to come back. And when we were first talking, I assumed they meant Mikey and I, but they were like, we just want to try you. So they obviously had this in their mind, which went over my head, totally oblivious to me. And just they reached back out and the timing worked out fantastically. So it's great.
Absolutely. So let's talk about TMDK. How did that all come about for yourself?
So it just came about from me and Mikey coming to America, traveling separately. Like Mikey'd come to America, I'd come to America. And each time you come and go, you kind of like you put the work in and you get to a certain spot on cards, and then you go away for like 9 months, you come back and they're like, oh, we'll try to find a spot for you again. And you're like, great. And then you have to like work your way back up. So it's just disheartening. Like this business, entertainment business, not just wrestling, can be very disheartening. So what makes it more enjoyable is having a friend to do it with. As you boys can tell, our podcast by yourself can probably be a little disheartening, but when you got your mate, at least you got your mate to banter with and to riff off with. Mm-hmm. So that's how me and Mike were just like, hey, if we're going to be, getting treated bad and just doing whatever, at least we can have a laugh and hang out together. So it really just came about from being friends and wanting to not just be alone on the road. And then just snowballed from there.
So, obviously, going back to Pro Wrestling Noah, congratulations on winning the GHC World title. It's coming up to like a month now. Mm-hmm. What is that like? Obviously, having that responsibility being a world champion in a major company? What's that like for you?
I think you got to set a precedent for what a champion should be. I have a bit of fun with it, but especially at the moment, I'm back in LA. I've got other responsibilities I need to take care of here, so I haven't had a chance to wrestle with the title. But it's still like, I'm just trying to make sure it's known that I'm still the champion. I have fun with it, but when I'm in Japan, especially on shows and representing this, I want people and I want wrestlers to know that I am on another level. Like, this means I'm on another level. So it's up to me to present it that way. But also, I just want people to know how the quality of Pro Wrestling Noah is, and I have to live up to that standard of, if you're the champ, you're the standard. Like, you're the highest echelon of standard. So I want to make sure that I live up to that.
Awesome. Just a follow-up question from that. So with you being the world champion, are you signed to Pro Wrestling Noah?
No, I'm still fairly free agent. I'm just on per appearance kind of deal with them at the moment, which I love. I love being able to be open to wrestle wherever. So if anyone wants to, just reach out. You never know what's going to happen. You know what I mean? Like, to me, the whole forbidden door thing is stupid. Like, there shouldn't be a forbidden door. Like, I get it, it's a good catchy thing, but it's wrestling. We should be able to wrestle wherever when we're wrestlers. When it's TV shows, I understand. Like, that's when it's a TV show and you're a TV show character. I get it. But as a wrestler, I just want to be able to wrestle everywhere. But my priority definitely is with Pro Wrestling Noah. I mean, Pro Wrestling Noah made me their priority. So I want to reciprocate that by them being my priority, because, man, I'm the champ, so they are my priority.
Definitely.
Absolutely. So you've recently just had your first title defense against Kenta. What was that like being in the ring with somebody like him?
Well, I've been in the room with Kenta a lot, so I'm quite used to him. But it was just different because, like, we wrestled for this title, was it 13 years ago? You know what I mean? And we were 13 years younger, 13 years less injured. We both went through WWE since that time, and that, like, we both had a bit of a rough time there. That can kind of kill your momentum and your confidence. And then they posted the match from 13 years ago, and I'm like, whew, that's a high bar, because that's one of my favorite matches. And man, we went 30 minutes in that match. I hit like 7 or 8 power bombs, which beat the shit out of each other. We were moving and hitting moves and stuff like that. So we both came into it with an understanding that that's not what we're going to be able to do again. So we have to do something different. And it's like one of those things that you hear, like, the old wrestlers always say, less is more and all that stuff. And it's like, more is more. More is more. But you can make more out of less. And that's just having that confidence to know that you can. So when we went in there, we just felt it out. A lot of it we just felt out there and just went with whatever happened. And we've worked each other. We know each other. So yeah, it was a lot of fun. Like, that was, I had a high standard for that match of what I thought we could bring, and I loved it, man. I had so much fun out there. Just there's so many, like, little things that, and I've never watched the match back. I probably will never watch the match back. I haven't watched either of the 2 matches back because I just had so much fun in the moment. In my mind, I remember it just being so much fun, especially the bits between the moves and just the natural stuff. That I know if I watch it back, I'll be like, oh, I hate myself. Like, I'll be like, oh, why did I do that? Where in my mind it was beautiful. So I'm just leaving it in that moment that I have in my own head.
Yeah. So you and Mikey Nichols got the opportunity to sign with WWE a fair few years back. Mm-hmm. What was that like, and what was your reaction when WWE approached you to join them?
So we'd reached out to them in 2015 because we kind of felt like we 2-time tag champions in Noah. We wanted to kind of explore more globally. We felt like we were definitely ready for WWE. We'd made the connections with Giant Bernard, Matt Bloom. So we reached out to them, we reached out to him. Our contracts with Noah were coming up at that time. So, and they were happy for us to like, yes, please go. Like, you know, what's the worst thing that your talent then goes and becomes more famous? You know what I mean? So we reached out, we did a tryout, and like that was about the third tryout we'd done. And the good thing in that was like, we always had our jobs back in Noah to go back to. So there wasn't a do or die pressure for us. So I think that helps because wrestling is so much confidence. It's about confidence. Like you don't have to, especially these days, you don't have to be any good in the ring. But if you're confident and you can hold yourself up like you're someone, people will believe it. So going in there, I think that definitely helped us going in with confidence. And like we just come through the Noah like dojo system. So all the rigorous training stuff that they put you through at the tryout, we were like, all right, we're fine with it. There was nothing for us. Like I was good. It was hard. It's not easy, but it's like it wasn't anything that was going to kill or break us. And then by the end of the 3-day tryout, they said, "Hey, we want to sign you guys." So we're like, "Great." The only problem was that I hadn't told them at the time, but I had gone and got scans on my knee the day after, because I had a feel like I did something to it months and months and months ago, but I didn't bother going to the hospital in Japan because I was like, whatever, we'll just tape it and move on. Go back to Australia. We have the very good healthcare there. So got the scans, went to this tryout, got accepted for the job, got the results back from my scan that I have a torn ACL that needs surgery. Well, it doesn't need surgery. I mean, like I'd been wrestling on it for 6 months. I did the tryout with a torn ACL. Like you don't need an ACL. So yeah, that was a bit of a worry there because I'm like, they've just offered me a job and now I have to tell them, hey, I've got to get surgery. So I was like, hey man, like talking to Canyon Scene at the time, like I got some good news, bad news. Like, thank you thing. Bad news, I apparently need to get ACL surgery. Good news is it'll probably take, they said 6 months. And Steven was like, hey, that's cool. Like it takes 9 months or so to get your visas done anyway. So they just did my visa process first. Once that 6, 7 months was up, we went to Pittsburgh, did all the medicals there, and they cleared me for that. And then we had enough time before they wanted us to start in April for us to go back and do one last Noah tour. So that was a real nice thing that like I got to do one last hurrah there and a send off, and then home for a couple of weeks, and then shipped off to Orlando.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So tell us about Retribution. Are this obviously the beginnings of it?
Beginnings of it is pretty much just that it was pandemic time, lockdown, so they weren't able to fly talent in. They'd already started this like mystery group angle when they did like the chainsaws and the Molotovs and all that and the bricks through the windows. But they didn't, to this day, I have no idea who did any of that. I don't know who those guys were. They weren't wrestlers. They weren't people at the PC. I think Mace in one of the very last ones before it went to like the main, or before it became us, Mace was in one of those backstage things where they jumped people, but I have no idea who did any of that stuff. But like, they were like, hey, we need people who aren't doing anything on NXT to go do this. I think I'd just been killed off. Dijak had just been killed off. So we were like, yes, please. Like this, and especially like that, like how sick is like, I love, like, if you're going to be in WWE, right, this big production company, I want to be doing these cool segments where we're throwing like Molotovs and flipping cars and stuff like that. You know what I mean? That's the memorable stuff. The big stunt, big production stuff is up there, especially if you're not going to be thrown as a champion or whatnot. So yeah, we jumped at the bit, and then just kind of from there, I don't like, it's all rumors and hearsay that the TV networks didn't like it being such a terroristy kind of looking group. So that got kind of changed into the masks, and then they're like, we want you to be like monsters. And then so we do like 1 week, then we did like the promos and we did it with like a monster voice, and then they're like, oh, we didn't like that you did that, don't do that again. I'm like, you told us to do it. But just you can see how much focus, like in the first few weeks of us going back to being live, I believe. No, it's still pre-recorded, I think. No, live, yes. We were in there with like Bray Wyatt, the Hardys, the Rey Mysterio. Like in one of the first few weeks, like we main evented Raw, and then you could just see each week us getting pushed back to the side as they changed their minds, or like as they got the travel ban lifted and they started getting the big stars back. So they're like, oh, we got the big stars back. We don't need any of this shock value stuff. So yeah, you can kind of see how we just kind of got pushed to the side there, and then kind of forgotten about. So I think it had potential, even being silly or whatnot. Like you never know too, because like the crowd reactions were piped in, so we were given boos. So someone's job to be like, boo. Where if we were in front of a live crowd, the crowd's like, you know how people like to love something that's bad, and they're like, no, it's actually really good. We could have got that. You never know in front of a live crowd. It could have all changed. It could have changed around. Like I always thought Slapjack had awesome potential to be a comedy wrestler. Like you know what I mean? A silly dude in a mask, easy. Like just lean into the goofiness of it. Could have been great, but get what you gave in.
That's very true. So one of my favorite moments from the Retribution short time through the pandemic was where I think you all was in the ring, and then you had like the Hurt Business like start marching down, and like I think there's like security there.
Maybe, yeah.
And then like trying to get to you because you had like a little brief feud with like the Hurt Business, weren't you?
Yeah, definitely. Like I think at the time it was that, and Ali had been that's around when Ali became the leader, trying to like turn Cedric or something like that. It was it's good because it's just faction war kind of stuff, and that's a fun. Like they're a great group of guys, so and they look great, they present great, so it's so cool. Like those dudes are such like big menacing force, and then we've got the numbers and the big guys. So yeah, it was great. I think we had a couple like 8-man tags or 8-man tags, elimination tags, things like that. I had the PLE match against Lashley for the US title. So, I mean, that's pretty cool. Like, that's all stuff like Shane Thorne in NXT had a tag title shot once or twice, maybe. Slapjack main evented Raw. Slapjack had a pay-per-view title match. You know what I mean? So I'm like, that dude, as bad as the character was and the mask was, like, the dude accomplished a lot more than Shane Thorne ever did.
Yeah, definitely.
Over to you, Jordan.
So, you left New Japan Pro Wrestling this year. Was there any reasons behind that?
Yeah, I have no idea. I didn't leave them. They left me essentially. Just started ghosting. All last year, I'd message, "Hey, am I needed for this tour? Am I needed for this tour? No. I think you can kind of tell with all the news lately of Bushiroad selling them up, like selling it. So the contract that we had with them was a per date, like a set amount of dates for the year, and we just get paid out monthly, like a salary, but it was for so many weeks for the year. They chose not to use us at all for those, but still paid us. So I'm very thankful for that. Like, they didn't need to pay us. Like they could have just not paid us, but they held on their side of a handshake agreement. Essentially, we had nothing pen to paper. So I'm very thankful for New Japan for doing that, and I don't blame New Japan for the ghosting. It's more, from now what I see, it's a Bushiroad thing. It's similar to, like, I think it's similar. I'm not big on the business stuff, but like back when WWE sold a bunch of stuff and they did all the mass firings and they did all the budget cuts, because it makes the overhead look better. It makes the company on paper look like it's worth more money. Bushiroad would have done that too by scaling back on all the fly-ins and stuff like that. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So it was their call not to renew our upfront payments. from when I was talking to them eventually, when I like got a hold of someone there, it was that they may still use us, but it'd be a pay per appearance kind of deal rather than paying for all our appearances up front, which it's a business, so fair enough. So yeah, I'd never say never again to us being there, but it's all up to, you know, like we as wrestlers, some wrestlers do get to pick where they get to go and whatnot, but you just see like a lot of things with like fans being like they should go to AEW, they should go to TNA. I'm like, it's not our choice. Like 90% of the time, it's not up to us wrestlers to be like, yeah, hey Tony, I'll go here, give me what I want. You know, I mean, we don't get that choice. We just got to go where the work is. I'm very fortunate that my work has now led me back to Noah and to the GHC title. So you just never know when things are going to turn around and whatnot. But I would never say never to going back to New Japan again. I mean, TMDK's there. I'd love to go back and be with the boys. I'd love the boys there to be with us in Noah as well. I'd go back to, I'd do TNA. I do AEW again for sure. I go back to WWE. I'm open to it. You know what I mean? Like, work's work. I love wrestling. I love being in this business. So there's pretty much nowhere I wouldn't go.
Okay. I know.
Good answer, stuff like that. So talk about WWE Release. Did you have an idea that would come in?
Oh yeah, yeah, for sure. Yeah, that year was brutal. So I'm shocked that I lasted as long as I did, because I think I was in like the third or fourth rounds of the mass firings, and every time from the first time that they did the mass firings, I'd go on like Twitter and they'd be like, Shane Thorne has been released, and I'm like, no, I haven't. It was just people's wish lists, you know what I mean? And I'm guilty of it too. Like back when I was a fan watching, or you know, when I was wrestling still, and you see like they used to do the post WrestleMania clean out, and I'd be like, oh, I bet this guy's gonna get fired. I bet this person's gonna get fired. So we all did it. It's like it sucks. It's such a shitty thing to be like, I hope this person gets fired. Like they're shit, and you don't really know until you're there. But yeah, I was on everybody's wish list, or you know how like the media like to report news before it's verified, assuming that it will be verified, just so they're the first ones to have said it. Like, and then if it's wrong, they just delete it. But yeah, I was definitely on those. But at the time too, like they'd gotten rid of Retribution, all but Mace and T-Bar. I'd been switched from Raw to SmackDown, which no one on the shows could tell me. I found out through travel, because I'm like, hey, what's my travel for this week? And they're like, you're flying out Thursday. And I'm like, oh, I guess I'm on SmackDown now. But I had no name. They took my name away from me. I had no gimmick. Everything that I would pitch, it just became this thing of like, let's tweak this, tweak. And I'm like, you don't need to tweak any. If you want someone on TV, you just throw them on TV. And then you make the story around them. You know what I mean? The important thing is to have your face on there. So I'd been like written on to like TV 4 or 5 times and then cut from the script at the last second. And that's what I was dying for, because I knew I was getting released. I knew, you know, it's coming. Like when you're not being used and for so long. And I just wanted to get my fucking face back on TV, because my face without a mask on it hadn't been on TV in 2-3 years. So I'm like, I just got it with. I'm like, even without a name, doesn't matter. No gimmick, no name. I gotta be there. They did the thing at Madison Square Garden where Edge got concertoed, and they're like, everyone needs to be backstage to be like, oh my god, what happened? Like as he gets taken to the ambulance, and they're like, not you, Shane. They were like, not you though. And I'm like, for fuck's sake. And I'm like, fuck it. I'm just gonna stand. I'm just gonna do it. Like I don't give a shit. I'm just gonna stand in the crowd and just get my face back there. And I did, and when the camera comes through, I'm like, oh, what the hell? And bloody Rick Boogs with his giant shoulders and arms, raises his arms up and completely blocks my face. Like, perfect timing, this big giant dude. Oh, what happened? And his whole arm and side of his body just completely blocks me from the shot. So that was my last-ditch chance to get on TV. I did get into I had a couple dark matches. Luckily, they gave me, I think it was on my birthday in LA. or Ontario, which is SoCal. I had a dark match against Austin Theory, and they let me have the win. So that was pretty cool. My wife was there and a bunch of friends, and then I think I got released like a week or two after that. So they let me have one little win before I left. But that, and then the first show back in front of a live crowd, it was Madison Square Garden, I believe, as well. Or maybe the other thing was a different thing. I don't remember. But the first show back in front of the crowd, and I was the only person who was at the show out of the men. I can't speak for the women, but only men that was not on the show at all. They had it scheduled for a dark match battle royal, and I was like, or a dark match Royal Rumble kind of thing. I can't remember which. It was probably battle royal. That makes more sense. And I was the only name out of everyone there not on the list. And I'm like, what the, like, how do I not get in a battle royal? And they're like, you don't have a name. You don't have a name. You can't be in. I'm like, I'll just appear in the ring. I don't need an entrance. And they're like, probably not. And that's like the weirdest thing. Like, I stormed into Vince's office that time. Like, I just went, fuck it, I'm going for it. Bust into Vince's office, and I'm like, I'm not in this thing. I want to be. I can't be here and not be in front of this crowd. I want to be in this match. Whether I just appear in the thing without a name or whatever. And he goes, of course. Like, why wouldn't you? It was as simple as that. He's like, yeah, of course, just do it. Like, so they made it. So I think the last match was Kevin Owens and someone. Kevin's cutting his promo after it's gone off air. The three bad guys come out. They surround him, and then the heroes, Finn Balor, Cesaro, and Friend make the save, and I just joined them. And then Adam Pearce goes, hey, since everyone's out here, let's make it a battle royal. So they added a little bit more story to it even than mine. And mine was just like, hey, when it happens, I'll just come in through the side and be in the ring. Like, so, yeah.
That's the story there.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I've got a little follow-up question to that. After you left, obviously, WWE, did you have an idea where you wanted to go, or was it just more of like just recharging in a way?
No, well, so yeah, there's a funny story with that too. Is I live in LA. New Japan was filming New Japan Strong in LA every month, so I'd gone to one of the tapings to go support Jonah Bronson Reed. He was on those. It's down the road, so I just went to hang out and see the guys and that. And they're like, "Oh, cool, man. Are you here now? Are you here?" And I'm like, oh, "Mate, I'm in WWE. I'm on Raw. Like, calm down." Like, then between that tapings and the next tapings, I got fired. So then I was like, mate, I'm in WWE. I'm not here. Yeah, I get fired. I go back to the next month, comes around, they're doing the Strong tapings. I'm like, hey, man, remember how last time you were like, can I come here? So they, I still had my, 3 months or whatever, the 90-day no compete. So each time that they were back in town, I'd go see them, and like it was pretty much set that as soon as my 90 days was up, then that's where I was going to New Japan, because Mikey was already there, Bronson Reed was already there. Like, it made sense for me to join TMDK that had already started up there again.
Yeah. So when you was in WWE, like, you stayed there for quite a while, but Mikey left.
Mm-hmm.
But how come Mikey decided to leave, but you decided to stay?
So Mikey had a wife and a kid who were living in Australia, and they weren't moving out. So there was that just constantly on his mind of his marriage and his like newborn child, and we just like we weren't being used. You know what I mean? Like, they were just. It was morally. It was just awful being there at the time. Like, especially for him. You know what I mean? Like, just being on the other side of the planet from your new family, and it just gets you. And then just every day you're just doing something wrong. Every day you're doing something wrong. This doesn't work. That doesn't work. You're not putting in enough ideas. Why is this happening? While you're watching other people just get handed stuff, and other people get success, which a lot of the people having that success definitely earned it, definitely deserved it. But you definitely saw a lot of people not deserving it, having the time of their lives. And you're like, we're not all having the same experience here, man. So yeah, it was very, soul sucking at the time. So it was a good break for him. Just he wanted to be with his family, needed to get away from there, be with his family, and like instantly since like after he left there, he started working with New Japan, and he was on tours there, and I could see in him that he was a much happier person than what he was in Florida, just being at the PC every day, getting training and getting told what you're doing is wrong and this is wrong. Yeah. So, and then, you know, I needed, you know, this time, like, it's a chance to, you know, have a chance as being a singles wrestler. So I'm like, yeah, I want to see where I can take it. I had some ideas for things that they didn't bother using ever, but, well, not for me. Yeah, so I had ideas and I just wanted to give it a try. And I mean, I didn't have a wife and kid back in Australia, so, you know, I wanted to stay in Orlando and keep trying.
Yeah. So how did you go from Perth in Australia all the way to Los Angeles, California, and residing there right now?
Well, so I was in Orlando. I haven't lived in Perth for over 10 years. So yeah, it was Perth to America, doing those things. Back then to Japan to Orlando, and then Orlando to LA. So when you're in NXT, you're heavily implied to stay in Orlando so that you can train and whatnot and be a part of NXT. Once Retribution officially made it to the main roster, we changed the main roster contracts where you're allowed to live wherever you want. You're in charge of your own training and yada, yada. And so my wife, who was my fiance girlfriend at the time, maybe, she lived in LA. Her work was in LA. I love the West Coast. So yeah, I wanted to get out of Orlando and out of that sticky, humid weather and into the beautiful West Coast sunshine. So yeah, as soon as it was on pen to paper that I signed that contract that I could move, got out of there as quick as possible.
Nice. Living in LA now. What's your favorite part about living in LA?
The weather. I love the weather. I love that it's a weird city, but it's my kind of weird. Like, it's a pretty harmless weird. Like, you know, Florida is a weird place too, but it's not always harmless. LA is a bit. I like West Coast. Perth is West Coast. LA's West Coast. It's these sunny, laid-back cities. There's always somewhere to go, have a drink, friends, stuff like that. Like, yeah. So when I was first coming out to the States back in 2007 and 8, or 8 and 9, I was coming out to LA. So I was a little familiar with the area. And so I have some friends. I have old friends here as well. So, but yeah, it's mostly the weather. I just like the weather. Love nice, warm sun.
Awesome, man.
Mm-hmm.
So, talk a little bit about, obviously, in wrestling, everything evolves. How would you say you've evolved over the years?
The same. I think it's like a thing of just knowing the confidence, knowing what I'm doing, experience. Your injuries force you to change. Age forces you to change. So it's accepting those changes and then adapting. So slowing down. Like, I don't dive anymore. I don't go to the top very often. So it's using what you've learned of new tricks to present yourself in different ways. Yeah, I've learned a lot of things that I still don't apply either. Like, but yeah, just as style wise goes, it's just adapting to those things and having confidence that I know, like, that I don't need to. Like, I'm never going to be as the best high flyer on the show. I'm not going to be the biggest guy on the show. I'm not going to be the fastest or the most technical. So what can I bring that's unique? And the one thing that's unique with all of us, well, pretty much all of us, is that there's only one of us. So it's just being confident in who you are, which for me is lucky because who I am is awesome and amazing, and handsome and big and good looking and talented. So me just being me is very easy. It's an easy thing to do. So that's kind of goes into a little bit of advice for people of what should they do in wrestling. It's like, just be the best version of yourself, because there's gonna be ricochets and Will Ospreays and giant 7-foot dudes on the shows. So you can only be you. You're the most unique, special thing about you is that you're you, the only you.
I like that. So let's talk a little bit about EPW, because that's where you first started your career, and obviously being in Perth, obviously being a former world champion and tag team champion. Do you still keep an eye on that the products?
Yeah, all the time, man. Like, I still talk to all the boys there. I'm still in the group chats to make sure that I get the links to the shows when they post them to everyone to watch. I don't watch all of it, but I watch as much as I can. They do the trainee shows that they pretty much post the whole things on Instagram as they're going. And it's fun. It's just fun to see who the new people are and whatnot. And anytime that I'm back in Perth, I go. Because usually when I'm back in Perth, I'm staying with my parents, and they actually just live 10, 15 minutes from the new school, which is very nice. Because back when I was coming up training, the school was 2 trains, a bus and 2 trains to get to training. It took 2 hours to get to training. So yeah, it's nice to just drive 15 minutes down the road. And they've got such a beautiful facility there. Great trainers. Like, I steal half the stuff that Davian Slater posts all the time about his training stuff, and he's such a good trainer and puts so much good content out there. If anyone's World Beater Wrestling, shout out to World Beater Wrestling. Like, if you don't have a wrestling school near you, you can sign up and learn a little bit through that. Or even if you are at a wrestling school and you want to expand your repertoire and learn a bit more, Damian Slater's World Beater Wrestling is definitely, you can just look at his stuff for free. He gives most of it away for free too, which his philosophy for him was that, like, he did jiu-jitsu for a while, and like, if you were ever like, how do I get this technique right, you could just go on YouTube. Pro wrestling has been kept so secret for so long that there isn't stuff like that. But now that, like, WWE pulls the curtain back, you know what I mean? So it's better, I think and his theory is like, it's better to have the correct information out there for people to watch and learn from than people just guessing it and hurting themselves. So yeah, and they've got the great school there too. Yeah, the EPW production's fantastic. But yeah, if you can, like, watch their stuff, they post so much stuff for free online on their YouTube channel, and Twitter and Instagram. So give EPW Perth a follow, watch their stuff, because you never know when you're going to see the next Shane Haste come from there.
Yeah, we've interviewed the world champion James Hartness, and he's incredible.
Nah, he's all right. Fuck that guy. No, just kidding. No, he's great. Him and Marcus Pitt was it last year's. Their cage match was insane. Like, and that's like the thing is, like, there's so many like promotions all around the world that are just putting on amazing matches. Like, I work with MPW, Millennium Pro Wrestling, out here, and they do a show every Friday night. Cheap. It's just fits like 100 people in there maybe, and like, some of these guys are just killing it. I'm like, you guys are so good. And they're like, oh, what can I do to get to that next level? I'm like, dude, you're having matches better than what I watch on some WWE, AEW stuff. Like, you just need to keep, like, make sure people can see it, advertise for yourself, and then just make sure when you get those opportunities, put yourself in the place to get those opportunities to be seen by these bigger companies, and just deliver what you just delivered then and what you do every week, because you guys are good enough. Like, there's so much good wrestling talent out there. Probably too much. That's the problem. There's too many good people out there.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So you've been in the wrestling business over 20 years. Is it still hard to be that wrestling fan?
Yeah, you get resentful. Like, it's easy to be resentful. Like, I think I was worse a couple of years back. It was worse. Now I'm getting older. I'm like, it is what it. Like, you can't help it. Like, and you do. I understand. Like, the thing that I hate about other people's wrestling, when people are like, I hate the way this person wrestles, or what they're doing is wrong, I don't like that style of wrestling. The thing I personally hate the most about other people's wrestling is that they're more famous and make more money than me. At the core of it, I'm like, whatever, man. Like, I can't do what they're doing, or I'm not in their spot. I'm like, what I really care is that they're making more money than me and they're more famous. That's what it comes down to.
Yeah. So, with the Australian wrestling scene, do you keep obviously you keep an eye on EPW, but do you keep an eye on it as a whole? Like, who's some of your favorites at the moment, if you do?
Yeah, I don't watch it that closely. I do like some, like, and it's a cool thing about like the good and bad thing about how social media is these days. I was saying like how good people's Instagrams are. That's a resume for a wrestler. That's your resume. And like if they're like, how do you reach out to like? You used to have to send like an email and links to matches and stuff like that. Nowadays, Instagram is your resume. It's got your pictures. It's got clips of matches. And if a promoter's looking for someone, they're probably not going to watch a whole match, but they will see someone's Instagram page and see like highlight clips or bits of matches, stuff like that. They'll see your photos there, and they're like, they can get a full sense of you from your Instagram. So I'm friends with so many people from Australian wrestling and that. So I do see a lot of it through their Instagrams and through my feed. But yeah, I'm more of I enjoy wrestling when I'm on the shows that I'm on more than just watching it online and stuff like that. Like I do believe it is best experienced live, and there is just so much fucking wrestling these days that it's hard to keep up. I don't follow too closely, but I do like see a lot of stuff from like PWA because of Robbie Eagles and stuff like that, and so many of their guys. They're very similar, like them and EPW Perth. They're very similar, where they put a lot of effort into production, and the wrestlers are all putting effort into how they look and having different looks and different characters, rather than being not everyone's a big over the top gimmick, but they have something different about their look and their personality. Because we can't all have Danhausen like gimmicks and things like that, but we all have our own personality. We just need to express it and show it, and the production value from like PWA and EPW Perth are definitely up there that make you go, oh, how big is this company? This company is a big company, right? They present themselves as very big companies. So hopefully they all get to that level where they are big companies.
Definitely.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. So John, shall we explain our game?
Can do.
So what we've got a list of categories here, and what we want you to do is I want you to think of the first wrestler, what comes to your mind with this category. Does that make sense?
Yeah, sure.
The only rule is you can only use one person. You can only use one. You can only use one wrestler once.
Okay, can't no repeats. All right, this is gonna be fun. I got wrestler brain, man. I'm old and I got wrestler brain. This is gonna be a slow game.
Jordan, over to you.
Yeah.
So the first word is strong. Who do you think of?
Jeff Cobb. We'll go Jeff Cobb for that one. He loves to do a stalling suplex, and he knows I hate being in a stalling suplex. Hate it. It just makes all the blood goes to my head. I get like seasick. I get motion sickness. People don't realize when you're up in that thing like that, it makes you feel ill. It makes me feel ill, like a helicopter spin, shit like that. So he'll hold me up, and I'm like, if you do it, like he won't call it. He'll just do it, and I'm like, I'm not gonna help, and I just dead weight. Like if you've ever watched, like my legs aren't up in the helping, so I just let them flop down, and I'm like, this is what you have to deal with, and he can hold it. Like, you son of a bitch. Yeah. So for strong, yeah, Jeff Cobb's my strong.
Speed.
Fastest speedy wrestler. Probably it'd be Leo Rush. Leo Rush is fast. Yeah, Leo Rush. It's in the name. We used to be in the same class training at the PC, and just he can just zip, change very quick on change of direction and stuff like that too.
Okay, who's got the best charisma?
Ooh, I just want to keep saying myself for all these.
You can put yourself on one. But you just can't use yourself again.
Okay, there's very charismatic people out there. You know what? I'm going to not pick myself. And I'm going to say Alan Breeze. He's a local guy out here. Alan Breeze, maybe in his matches he plays a bit more straight and focused, but when you're training with him and outside, his natural personality, he's a very charismatic guy. I hope he gets seen by a lot more people, gets his shot and a lot more of that who he is as a person. Like, and I say, like, it's a confident thing, and he plays a very like straight-laced wrestler in the ring. But then once he kind of gets on top, he does loosen up, and he's got natural charisma without having to have any character or anything like that. Just him. So Alan Breeze is my machismo charisma guy.
Okay. Who's the best technically?
Ooh, I get Zach. Yeah, that's an easy one. Yeah.
Okay. Who's best on the mic?
He's like Zach's like Zach's a cunt. All right, I'll say it. You can flip that.
Wow.
Because he just grabs and pulls, and like half of the stuff he does, I'm like, oh, he'll do the thing where he's got like that, and then he goes like, ooh, and I'm like, mate, all you've done is gone from there to there, putting your hand behind your back to grab the thing. Oh, he puts you off balance, and people are like, ooh, and I'm like, you idiots. But that's, you know, technically it looks fantastic. Like, it's like, oh, he did that thing, and I'm like, that does nothing. That added nothing.
I can see that in some of his
wrestling. It's so good. That's the beauty of pro wrestling. And Zach, you know what I mean? It's so good at it.
Who's the best on the mic?
Best on the mic. Ooh, natural on the mic. That's hard, I don't. Yeah. Not a big promo watcher guy.
Can be anyone.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of, like, you know, I like old rock, the rock, like early 2000s, late 90s rock. Like some of his stuff now comes across a little bit more scripted or whatnot, but you know, old rock was one of my favorite wrestlers. I get back, especially like, I don't know, it's a little bit of like, you know, when it was Rock versus Austin, I was more of the Rock guy than an Austin guy, but just that was also because everyone loved Austin. I like wanted to like the other guy, but it was the Hollywood aspects of the Rock that I really enjoyed. That he was a entertainer, and then he got in the ring and got his ass kicked by like Austin. You know what I mean? But yeah, it was big. The Rock's one of my favorite mic guys, especially late 90s, early 2000s.
Okay. What about entrance? This could include music.
Ooh, Kenta Kobashi. Love Kenta's entrance. Love the crowd. Kobashi. Yeah. Always, and when you see like highlights of it and stuff, with like when they do the fog steam shooting up, yeah, that's that kind of like quiet charisma too. Because all he does is walk to the ring, and everyone's just like, ah. The music's too bad. I love it. Like the old TM61 music. I was like, they based it off of like the Wolfmother song that we used to an extent, and I was like, can we get like that old Japanese kind of like a riff, and like I wanted thunder and piano in it too. I'm like, I just wanted Kobashi's theme.
I like that. So the final one from me. Who's underrated?
That's where I would say myself, but I don't want to be
Agreed.
rated. I don't want to be rated. I just want to be like, because then as soon as you're underrated or that, people like, they got to be better. They should be better. That's when you start. That's what you want to. Yeah. You just want to stay rated. I don't want to be overrated or underrated. I just want to stay there. I give you one of my favorite ones is Wesley Blake. Wesley Blake was underrated as F back in his days in NXT. I remember before I joined NXT, I'd watch NXT, and you'd see Wesley Blake out there. And I'm like, get this guy out of here. Like he was one. I'm like, he's definitely getting fired. And I remember when they did the NXT one where they used to show like the backstage, and it was, I can't remember who he worked, but then there's like backstage, it's Triple H talking to that person. And you see Wesley Blake in the background, like, and I'm like, get him out of here. As soon as I joined NXT, I was like, this guy's the best wrestler in this building. Like all those dudes, like there's so many times that you'd watch him, and who knows who he was against. And you're like, that guy, the other guys, that's a star. I'm like, oh, it's because Wesley Blake made them a star. He was so good, so easy to work with. He's a coach there now. So if you're in Wesley Blake's class, congrats. You're in there with an absolute legend and a beast.
Absolutely. One final one from me. Who's the best at storytelling?
Storytelling. Who can tell a good yarn? Shit, that's that. I'll give myself that. I'm a great storyteller. That actually, that I stick to it. Not me. The Usos. Usos are great locker room guys, and they're always like they've got stories and they've just got that charisma. They'll make a story out of nothing. Yeah, those boys are great banter off of each other.
Okay.
Awesome.
Is that what you meant by storyteller, or did you mean like in-ring storyteller?
Overall.
Overall, yeah. I'm like, yeah, who's got good banter? I was like, that's what I was thinking. Who's got the best banter? And I was like, yeah, the Usos. Those boys have got great banter.
So what is one lesson that wrestling's taught you over the years?
Be smart with your money.
Yeah.
But I mean, life. It's because I've been a pro wrestler for pretty much my whole adult career. You know what I mean? I've been a professional wrestler since I was 22, 23, and that's like I didn't have any other job but wrestling since 23 years old, maybe 25. I'll give it till 25. Like I had other jobs that was just like a laborer work and security guard, things like that. It's a pretty good life that I've had through wrestling. That maybe I should have been a little smarter with my money, saved it a bit more, things like that. Put it into better ways. And I know Duke Hudson, Brendan Vink, he does a podcast now where they kind of talk a little bit about the money and how when you join NXT, they don't really tell you these things, but they also don't tell us this in school either. Like they don't really teach us about savings accounts and your retirement fund and that. That's on our parents kind of and life. But sometimes we don't really get that, or we don't listen. That's true. I probably did get taught it when I was young, and I didn't listen because I just wanted to fake fight with my mates in my underwear and just thought everything would work out. But it's all these big kids like coming into wrestling now. There's no guarantee you're going to make it. So it's like they always said, plan for your future without wrestling. And I never did that. And so now I'm like, uh-oh, what I'm gonna if I live a long life, I can't wrestle forever. So that's something that I've learned, and advice that I give to people, like find something that is similar to the wrestling business or aligns with wrestling that you can also have another, like a side hustle in, or if wrestling doesn't work out, you've already got a foot into it. Like the fitness business is a big one, fitness and nutrition, that's a ever growing market and industry. And like, if you know that, then that benefits you too, because you'll look better in the ring, you'll eat better, stuff like that. Backstage things like learn lighting, camera stuff, things like that. There's entertainment businesses, multifaceted. So there's always things you can learn that will align with wrestling, that will benefit your wrestling, and then after wrestling, you've already started and done all the stuff to then transition into other careers and other monetary pathways.
Yeah,
absolutely. So as we begin to wind down, obviously we're halfway through the year, mate. What's the goals for the rest of the year?
Keep this title, keep defending it, and enjoy life. You know what I mean? That's the important thing, enjoying life, like whether you're making money or not. We don't all have to be millionaires. We can be, common folk, as long as you're enjoying life. I have a very lucky life. I got a beautiful wife, got dogs. I'm financially well, like I'm good. And I'm a GHC heavyweight champion, you know what I mean? I'm getting flown around the world to have fun, you know what I mean? To wrestle. I'm getting paid and flown around the world and rewarded to do what I wanted to do since I was a small child. So the goal for the rest of the year is roll with the punches, go with it. I've got a fair few more dates with Pro Wrestling Noah. I'm absolutely loving it in pro wrestling now. I'm loving the fans. I'm loving being back in Japan. The lifestyle. They're being very good to me of letting me have my tour dates, and then understanding that I do need to be back home with my wife and family. So yeah, this has just been like, it's been such a great relationship that I have with them that I'm just going to keep doing whatever is best for them, because it's working out what's best for me as well.
Definitely, man. So, what can we expect you in the UK?
When it happens, man, I it's a thing. Like I am pretty. The trouble is too. Like, yeah, I am pretty busy in Japan at the moment. That is my priority. Hopefully, my wife can kind of make it out to Japan a bit, but like I'm doing 3-4 weeks in Japan at a time, and then I'm home for about a month, and then I'm back. So in that time that I'm home, I don't want to then go off and do another 2-week tour in the UK, and then just keep ditching my wife at home with the dogs and all that responsibility. You know what I mean? So it is that work-life balance. So yeah, we'll see. Hopefully, like I know she loves to travel. She loves travel, but then it's obviously, she's got to work. She's got to work. We've got to find someone to look after the dogs, things like that. So work-life balance. So hopefully, because there's a lot more stuff. Big Damo, Nikki now running companies out there. Hopefully they'll be good friends and actually book me, unlike other friends who don't book me. You know who you are. The pieces of shit. You sons, you SOBs. But yeah, so we'll make it work. Because it's kind of like, I understand the wrestling business is a business. And like, as much as we all want to be flown out for one show or whatnot, that's stupid, especially in this day and age with the, how much flights cost and whatnot. Like, it's fine. Like, companies got to be financially responsible as a business first. You know what I mean? So I don't blame anyone for not flying people out for one day kind of things. So yeah, we'll see what's on the. Hopefully, I haven't seen much of the UK, so I definitely want to travel around and see more of it, and hopefully this year or next year it works out. Hopefully before I'm done, it works out.
Definitely, man.
Absolutely. No further questions from me.
So the final two from me, Shane. It's been really good to chat to you. But who is your Mount Rushmore of professional wrestling? And to finish it off, what is an inspirational message from you?
My Mount Rushmore is TMDK members. That's my Rushmore. Let's get a second mountain range and put all the heads and faces on there. And my advice to wrestling is get out of my business. This is my business, and I'm the champ. But okay, seriously, it's Mount Rushmore, Macho Man, Kenta Kobashi. They're probably the ones, and The Rock. Those four are ones that influenced my wrestling. I try not to be influenced in wrestling. It's very hard. If you keep watching people like other people, you're just going to become them. I try not to be influenced because I want to be as much me as possible. But those 4 are people that I can't help, that when I'm not even paying attention, I'm just doing stuff. I'm like, I just did a Macho Man thing. I just did a Rock thing. Damn it, I just did a Kenta thing. So that, for me, they're my Mount Rushmore, just because they are the ones who influenced my style, even without me fighting against it. And then what was the other one? My inspirational message.
Yeah, just to be positive. I ask every guest that.
Have fun, enjoy it, take it seriously, but not too seriously. In my theory, is like the only way wrestling can really be wrong is if you hurt yourself or your opponent. That's the only time it's really wrong. Like whether you grab the wrong arm or whatever, that doesn't matter. So don't hurt anyone. Have fun. Try new things. Be unafraid to fail. Because you should always have. If you don't, hurt yourself or your opponent, you'll always have another chance to try something different or try again. It's never too late to reinvent yourself. And like I said before, be yourself, be the best version of yourself, because there's only one of you. That's your most unique thing about you, is there's only ever one of you. Even when you're a twin, you're still different in twins. All right? So be yourself. And that's my advice to people when they're like, hey, I've got a tryout coming up. What should I do? What are they looking for? They don't know what they're looking for. They have a rough idea, but you never know. So be the best version of yourself you can be, because at least if you go there and you do a tryout and you fail, imagine failing while you're trying to be a wrestler, while you're like, this is what they want, so I'm going to be that. And then they say no. And you're like, shit, well, I failed pretending to be something else. At least your first time, fail as yourself. Because if you get to succeed as yourself, then that's the best way to succeed.
I like that.
Yeah.
Absolutely love it. So one thing, Shane, would you want to plug your socials, mate?
I don't know. It's Shane Haste. Google. Go to Google. It's on there. You figured it out. If you're watching this, you already know it. Look at everyone else's. Look at those other socials there. Look up those other people that I was talking about. Look up your Alan Breezes, your Johnny Robbies. Look up those and then see who they wrestled, and look up that person too. Look at all those up and comers. Those people are the ones, look at your James Hartnesses and your who's a PWA guy that I can't think of right now.
Tuckman.
Yeah, not Tuckman. F those guys. Screw the tag teams. TMDK is the only tag team you care about.
Okay.
I don't give a shit if you do the pointy thing. What is it? I'm not getting your glasses. You're not getting my rub. You're not getting my rub, Tug Man.
Well, that's going to get clipped.
I'm not rubbing the Tug Man.
That's getting clipped.
I'll never rub the Tug Man.
Awesome. No, seriously, Shane, thank you for coming on. Huge fan of your work. Thank you. I can't thank you enough for coming on. I really enjoyed it.
It's been an absolute blast.
Yes, thanks for having me.
I'm going to let you say one last thing, and then I will end it. Whatever you want.
Hey, man, I don't know. Go out there, watch me, follow my stuff, follow the people that I was talking about. Just go down an Instagram rabbit hole of wrestlers that you've never heard of, and have fun and enjoy life.
Love it.